1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
NL Divisional. Pirates at Giants. Welcome back, baseball fans. The National League Divisional Series round between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the San Francisco Giants. Interesting time for these teams. Pirates, we know, win the 71 World Series, so in air quotes, it's their year. Giants are a team that's gotten older, but actually had a pretty exciting year and blew out our expectations. Let's go see what these teams have to do to get here. Basically, the story is about being 500. Let's start with the Giants. The Giants were 500 at the All-Star break, but then they were 2.5 back of Houston. They had to beat them 5-7, and they beat Houston 5-7. So they're 5-2. And then after that, they beat the Portland in the divisional round of top seeds 3-0. So they've won 8 of 10. And 8 of 10, when you're 500, means you're 21-15. But believe it or not, this year in the National League, 21-15 is good enough to get you a number 2 seed and a bye in the playoffs with a modest .583 winning percentage. That's because the interleague play has not been very good for the Nationals, and the Giants, just 6 over 500, find themselves as an unlikely, perhaps undeserving, some might say, number 2 seed in the National League, but they flirted with 500. Meanwhile, the Pirates, have been following along for a couple years now, have been tinkering around at 500. Let's check their path. It was even a little more dire. They were a game under 500 as the tournament began. But then they beat up on their Cincinnati Reds, the world champs. They beat them 4-2. It's the first time they beat Cincinnati in 2 years. They beat them 4-2, knocked the Reds out, get a game over 500. Then in the next round, they were fortunate that they played in the National League because they lost 3 out of 5 to the Phillies. That's okay. That meant they were 20-20 and they weren't extinguished yet. The fire was not burnt out on the Pirates after losing to the Phillies. They were 20-20, but like I said, in the National League, a 20-20 record, you could probably stick around for one more round. But improbably, it meant that they would have had to beat, right here against Houston, they'd have to beat the Astros 3 straight. But guess what? They beat the Astros 3 straight. Indeed, they did. The Pittsburgh Pirates finally looked like that World Series team right when they needed the most. If you want to be hot now. And oh my goodness, your 1971 Major League Baseball World Series champion Pittsburgh Pirates are hot right now, which is what they have to be. Overall standings, yeah, they won their division. They were given a 3 seed over the bad Portland team with the 4 seed. They had a tiebreaker over the Cubs. Then they just played the Cubs in the divisional round, in the wild card round. And they did pretty well there as well. In the wild card round, Cubs put up a decent fight, but the Pirates won that 3-1. So they've won 6 of 7 now, beating Houston 3 straight and the 3 out of 4 from the Cubs. They won 6 out of 7, and they've got time off finally. I mean, Pittsburgh was frantically playing every day without a day off because of their bad record. Now they've had a couple days off before the divisional round of the playoffs, and they've been able to fine-tune the rotation, matching the Giants, who've had some rest. It'll be 1-2-3-4-1. That means today it will be for your Pirates in a Game 1, Steve Blass, your 1971 Game 7 pitcher, against the 1971 Juan Marichal, 18-game winner with a .294 ERA. Marichal was brilliant with a 69 card, winning a couple Cy Youngs for me. Had a down year in 1970, but another fine year in 1971. So we will play game 1 today, and then we'll pick it up with the next elimination game until the series ends. Let's get started from Candlestick Park, way out west in San Francisco. Cross-country affair between Pirates, Giants. Leading off is Richie Hebner. 210 is a ground ball to pitcher. Ever since they inserted Hebner in the leadoff spot, they've been winning. He's like the 6th different guy to lead off for him this year. And at this point, he's just going to lead off till the season's over. Maybe in the offseason they'll acquire a true leadoff hitter. Roberto Clemente, 63, pitcher X off Marichal. But he's an E34 now as he's gotten older. And he makes an error. Not a good start there. Al Oliver, 1-7. Oliver, it's a 3-6-3 double play. Marichal gets out of the mistake. Gary Matthews, 38 is a K. Tito Fuentes, 48, base hit for the C Steeler. Willie McCovey, 69, sky's the left. Bobby Bonds, 39, is a strikeout. Top of 2, it's Pops Stargell, 2-4 is a K. Bob Robertson, 47 is a K. Rennie Stennett, 62, pitcher, and Marichal doing what Marichal does. Bottom of 2. Ed Goodson, 45, double 1 of 8 off the blast card is a base hit. Chris Spire, 310 is a walk. 2 on for Jim Howarth. 58 flies to right. Fran Healy, 68, pops out. And Rich Reese, 69, flies out. They leave the runners at first and second, don't do anything with them. Top of the 3rd, it is the Cobra, Dave Parker, 1-7, double 1 of 4, base hit. Manny Sanguillen, 39, is a 6-4-3 double play. And Larry Milbourne, 311's a walk. Beast Stealer. Giants do not have good throwing catchers. Unfortunately, the Pirates just don't have a lot of speed. They have Frank Tavares on the bench. Has hardly played this year. Milbourne won the starting shortstop job. He's a beast stealer. Obviously, if they had speed on this team, they'd be leading them off instead of Richie Hebner. Milbourne will stay at first with 2 outs for Richie Hebner. 1-5 is a fly ball to right. Bottom of the 3rd, Gary Matthews. 1-11, grounds it short. Fuentes, 48, base hit. He's 2 for 2. Willie McCovey, 1-7 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Bobby Bonds. Having kind of a quiet year, actually. Haven't heard much at all from Bobby Bonds. 2-6. Single 1 is 16. Gets it. 2 on, 2 outs, just like in the last inning, for Ed Goodson. 47 up last. They're going to get to him on his card with a base hit into left field. This is Fuentes. Stargell's got a -4 arm. Fuentes, he'll take it on anyway. It is a 13 shot here. And he advances, and a 7, he scores. So he takes on the Stargell arm and scores. Bonds goes to 3rd on the throw. You got runners on the corners with 2 outs for Chris Spire. 34, short. Well, Giants finally break through in the scoring column. They have 5 hits to the Pirates 1 here. Into the 4th. And it's Roberto Clemente. 312 Lomax. Al Oliver, 38's base hit. Stargell, 611, first X. First baseman today, Rich Reese, a 2E7. Free agent first baseman. And he gets a ground ball C. Disappointing there. Couldn't turn double play. And Bob Robertson with a runner in scoring position. Bounces to short. This is Chris Beer, 2E22. Giants have pretty good defense. Got a 2 at short. You got 1 -4E2 in center field for Bonds. His defense, Bobby Bonds' defense, might be more valuable than his offense. For that card, anyway. Bottom of the 4th, it's Jim Howarth. 311 pops to first. Fran Healy, 38's a walk. Rich Reese, 35. Triple, 1 to 5, single the rest, and it's a base hit. And here come the Giants again. Steve Blass, multiple men on in the last 3 frames. They got to bring it up for Gary Matthews. 4 off a blast, homer, 1-7, and he gets the homer. Big, huge break on a homer, 1-7, fly ball the rest. 3-run swing on that roll in a playoff game. So, the home team getting some breaks today. Tito Fuentes. 1-9, double on a 14 is a double. These Giants that have been panned as being kind of meh, they're playing pretty darn well. Willie McCovey, 112, triple, 1-2 single is a base and an RBI. 5-zip. Bobby Bonds, 45, single to right field. McCovey holds a second. He's an 8-runner. You got the 8-running McCovey in front of the 17-running Bonds, clogging up the base paths. 2 on, 1 out for Ed Goodson. 39 flies to right. And with 2 outs, as they bat around, it's Chris Byer. If this guy reaches, we might be at the blast point of weakness. I'll have to check this out. 5'11", second X. But you got Stennett, a 41 second baseman. That's an error to load him up. A bat around, and now it'll be Jim Howarth with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The pitch. 2-10, grounds to second base, and Blast and the Giants stay alive in this one. 5-0. Juan Marichal, 5-run lead. Pretty insurmountable, you would think. Top of the 5th. Rennie Stennett. 2-7, grounds to short. The Cobra, Dave Parker, 5-4, found Marichal's column. 1-13 for a home run. It is gone. Taking Marichal out on the 13, barely over the wall. It's 5-1. Manny Sanguillen, 58. Skies to right. And Larry Milbourne, 39, bounces to short. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, Blast. He's put up a lot of hits and walks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But how many hits was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2, and 3. 10 and 3. We'll give him a break because he's Steve Blast and say he hasn't hit his point of weakness. He's right on the edge there. A couple hits here in the 5th will do it. Fran Healy. 2-5. There's one of them. Double, 1-7's a double. One more hit, we'll call it point of weakness for Blast. Rich Reese, who singled in the previous inning. 1-9, single 1-5, and he lines out. 1 out. Runner at second, Gary Matthews. 1-7, let's take a look at the Gary Matthews card of 1973. That's a 300 hitter with 12 home runs, 22 doubles and 10 triples. Boy, should they have held on to the Garys. Gary Matthews, Gary Maddox. The replacements, really, for Ken Henderson and Willie Mays. But they didn't hold on to him. Gary Maddox goes to the Phillies, eventually gets a World Series ring, and Gary Matthews ends up in Atlanta. The Cubs, the Phillies, has a great career. Giants got nothing out of those 2 guys. This is a base hit to left field. Fran Healy will hold at third. And we're going to hit Blast's breaking dot on his card. But because it's a game 1, he doesn't want to tax his bullpen. We'll see if he can muck his way through the 5th inning here. Runners on the corners. For Fuentes, you got to bring it up. He's an 8-bunter. 57, and immediately, and this happens so often when I do this. As soon as a pitcher breaks and you go, oh, I'll leave him in, boom, you hit the dot on the card. That should have been a strikeout. We're turning it into a single. It is now 6-1 with 1 out. McCovey with runners on the corners. 66, sac fly, and with 2 outs. I think they're conceding this game. Bobby Bonds, 43, left X. And starters a 3-4 in left field. That's going to be a double, though. Second and third for Ed Goodson. 49, single 1-6. Lines out on a 9. 5 horrible innings for Steve Blast, yet it's still only 7-1. Damage could have been much worse. Left a lot of men on in this thing. Should be in double digits. They got to settle for 7-1. Top of the 6th. Marichal cruising. A solo homer by the Cobra. Dave Parker is the only damage. Top of the lineup, Richie Hebner. 410, pops out. Roberto Clemente 1-4, Skies the center, and Al Oliver with a base hit on 2-7. Stargell runner at first, 2 outs. 64, third X. This is a bad defensive third baseman. Ed Goodson, a 4.33 at third base. But he gets a GBA. If you ever want to chase the results on a dubious defender, this is probably a very high percentage chance of getting an out. Like 80% maybe. 97.23%. Yeah, you basically have to go out there without a glove to make an error on that one. So Goodson, it managed to hit the leather, and he turned a double play. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Or we got the final out. Bottom of the 6th, we need a new pitcher. We're going to go Dick Kelly here. He's the long guy, the least important pitcher on the Pirate team. They have an outstanding bullpen of Justy Hernandez, Bruce Keeson, who should be a starter. They have too many of them, so they put Bruce Keeson in the bullpen. And then Dick Kelly takes over the old Joe Gibbon role here in Pittsburgh. In the bottom of the 6th, Kelly's numbers, I'll give them to you. He was 2-2 with a 3.45 ERA for the Padres in 71, with these bizarre triples against left-handed batters. I've never seen that before. Chris Spire will bat. 47 is a walk. Jim Howarth will stay in for defense and a curious potential for a triple. 54, homer 1-5 double. It's a double to center field. Spire will hold there. Second and third for Fran Healy. 67's a K. Rich Reese will stick around because he can be defensive player. 2-5, grounds to first. The runner holds, and with 2 outs, Gary Matthews. 1-8 is a walk. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Tito Fuentes. And 1-8, let's take a look at the Fuentes card as the Giants are on the verge of batting around, or kind of close to it, for 3 innings in a row. My goodness, 277 average in 1973, 6 homers, 700 plate appearances at second base and third base. Tito Fuentes, 1-8, double on a 13. He gets a 2-run double. It is 9-1. McCovey, 53, first. Save some of this, San Francisco. I'm warning you. I've seen this so many times. You blow out a team 9-1, then you lose 3-2. And it's a split for the Pirates. So that's what you're setting yourself up for. As we go to the 7th, Bob Robertson will lead off. 39 for Bob Robertson. Flies to center field. Rennie Stennett, 6'10". Catcher's card, Fran Healy. Oh boy, the worst you can get. But Fran makes the put out anyway. And with 2 outs, Dave Parker. 2-7 is a K. Domination in the Bay is what they call it here in San Francisco, Candlestick Park, Haight-Ashbury. We are enjoying stretch time music of Sly and the Family Stones. Fresh. He's very fresh here in 1973, right in the middle of the timeline. Sly and the Family Stone, If You Want Me to Stay, of course, the big hit off of this one. Skin I'm In, Que Sera, yeah. And great, the brilliant, the amazing, the, San Francisco's finest, Sly and the Family Stone. Bottom of the 7th inning here. Dick Kelly will continue. Eat up some work in the bullpen. It'll be Bobby Bonds. 1-8 for Bonds is double 1-12 base hit. Goodson will leave. He mostly hits just against righties. And Bobby Heiss, defensive replacement, will come in for him, play third base. Pitch to Bobby Heiss. 46, single 111, gets it. They're getting everything today. 2 on for Chris Spire. 311, flies to right. Jim Howarth. 46 is a K. Hasn't hit his point of weakness yet, almost did. And Fran Healy, 2-6. There is a base hit to left field. And that is Bonds. Of course he's going to run. And 17, 18, 19. He'll score against every arm, even Stargell's. So he scores exactly on a 14 on that. That's an RBI for Healy. Scoring Bonds. Heiss holds at second. It is 10-1. It is Rich Reese. Pitcher's broken, by the way. 2-6, pops to first. They've broken 2 of them. Broken. 2 Pirate pitchers only in the 7th inning. 10-1 Giants. What an impressive display for a team that has not even been brought up in the discussion for a World Series title. They really haven't been. We've talked about the Braves. We've talked about Oakland, the Pirates, the Orioles, the Tigers, the White Sox to a degree. But we haven't talked much at all about the Giants. And they are showing you that they can hit the ball. Tee this thing up. And you got Marichal in there, too. Got to have yourself an ace. And Marichal at the top could be the difference in the Game 7. Manny Sanguillen, 3-9. Grounds are short. Milbourne, 59, second. And Richie Hebner, 56. That's double and 8. Double. Clemente, 65. Skies to center field. Well, do you give Marichal the afternoon off? Yeah, probably. And Keeson will come on in. He pitched the 8th inning. Give Dick Kelly a little bit of a break. Don't let my pitchers go more than 2 innings. They don't have to. Into the 8th. Back up top. Gary Matthews. What a day. He is reached 3 times. 48's a walk. Make it 4. Tito Fuentes has reached 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 day for Tito Fuentes. 65 grounds a second. 5 for 6 day. Runner goes to second for McCovey, who is reached once. 1-2 pitcher, and with 2 outs. And there's another guy, Bonds, 1, 2, 3. He's 4 for 5. 58. Make him 5 for 6. That'll score a run, yeah. 5 for 6. Who has done nothing all year. Bobby Bonds, I'm talking. Well, he's done it today. Fuentes and Bonds have 10 hits. Pirates have 3. Bobby Heiss, 57. Okay, the inning is mercifully over. 11-1 in the 9th, and Don Carruthers, the Pirate, the Giants' least valuable pitcher, long man, was, let's see, 5-3 for the 71 Giants with a 4.05 ERA. Try and get this inning over with, this game over with. Al Oliver. 1-2, Lomax. Stargell, 35 is gone. A home run, and it's 11-2. Little mock applause here. They need 9 more of those. Bob Robertson, 38's a K. In with 2 outs. It's Rennie Stennett, 3-10 single. Carryover struggling. Dave Parker, 2-6, another base hit. Manny Sanguillen, 48. You're going to make the parking lot a traffic mess if you don't get this final out soon. 48 flies to left field. We got the end of the game there. That is it. 11-2. The Giants win Game 1, 11-2. We'll set you up with the rest of the schedule here. Game 2, Bob Moose for the Pirates. Ron Bryant, nice lefty for the Giants. Would win 24 games for them in one of the upcoming years, but this is arguably his best year. Game 3, Jim Rooker, who clinched the wild card round against the Cubs, versus Jim Barr. And Game 4 looks like it's an odd one. It's Alan Foster, who was actually a Cardinal, pitching for the Pirates, and Bill Parsons, who was a Milwaukee Brewer, pitching for the Giants. Then Blass and Marichal return for a Game 5, and then Moose and Rooker, Bryant, Barr for Games 6 and 7 if necessary. That's the schedule. We'll take a little break, and when we come back, we'll put you into we'll give you a recap of what's taking place in Games 2 through to the potential late innings of the next elimination game. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Okay, baseball fans, this is the box score of the game you just saw, the Game 1 bludgeoning the Giants put on the Pirates. 11-2. Marichal, 8 innings, 5 hits and a run. Then the Giants got 20 hits in this game, 10 of those by Tito Fuentes and Bobby Bonds. They were 10 for 12. The other Giants got the other 10. Amazing game. San Francisco beating the you-know-who, you-know-what out of you-know-who the Pirates in Game 1. Now, Game 2. Would there be some kind of championship moment in Game 2, potentially for the Pirates? Well, let's take a look at it. They're trying to get a split of the first two in San Francisco. Bob Moose for the Pirates. Ron Bryant for the Giants. Bottom of first, who pick it up. A two-base error. I hate to see this, and this is, yes, the third error for an E2 right fielder this year by rolling a ridiculously low percentage, all three times, of course. And yeah, they get the 2 errors in 162 games, but they got 3 of them, and much less than that. Just bad luck on Clemente. 3 more singles. It's 3 unearned runs in the first inning. Then they get a run in the second. A couple walks, a single, and a ground out. In the third inning, the Pirates get on board. RBI single by Sanguian. It's 4-1. The Giants bat around in the fourth inning, or on the verge of knocking Bob Moose out of there, just like they knocked out Blass in Game 1. They've got a 7-1 lead. They can't finish the job there as the bases are loaded with 2 outs and Haworth flew out. Opening the door in the 5th for the Pirates, who calmly, a single, a flyout, a single, and then a team not known for the on-base, they're free swingers in Pittsburgh. Stargell walks, Richie Zisk walks, Bob Robertson RBI walk. It's a 7-4 game, and then number 9 hitter Bill Mazeroski playing second base against left-handed pitching. 3-run bomb on his own card, 8-7 Pirates, and the Giants are shell-shocked. Richie Hebner, it's a homer in the 8th. Pirates just shut it down. They shut them down. The Giants, they collapsed. They just shut down. They had just batted around in the 4th inning to take a 7-1 lead after the remarkable inning by the Pirates. Giants go quietly. Giants go quietly. They just melted. And the Pirates get a come from behind, down 6 in this one, 9-7 win. Playoff baseball, gotta do it in all phases. By the way, in the 8th and 9th innings of this one, when it was a 2-run game, Ramon Hernandez, this lefty-righty duo of Hernandez and Justy, they'll be hitting the right buttons, the right managerial buttons, because Hernandez, after a flyout, an error and 2 walks, he loads the bases, so they pull him, quick hook him for Justy, who induces a double play grounder by Dick Dietz and then strikes out 2 of 3 guys in the 9th inning. So they work that perfectly for a Pirate win. All tied up, going back to Pittsburgh for Game 3. In this one, best pitched game of the series, Jim Barr versus Jim Rooker. Bottom of the 1st, Pirates keep the momentum going. Clemente triple, doubles by Stargell and Bob Robertson, and it looks like they're going to rout Jim Barr. 2-0. Jim Barr settles down, gets through the game, but unfortunately, Jim Rooker's better for the Giants. He only gives up 3 hits, and again, it comes down to the use of the bullpen here. He goes 7 2/3. He hits his point of weakness here. He puts 2 guys on in the 7th, even with a shutout. 2 men on in the 8th, and it's Willie McCovey. So they bring in Ramon Hernandez, and instead of struggling like he did in Game 2, Ramon Hernandez gets a 4-out save. He strikes out McCovey, gives up a single in the 9th. So they push the Justy Hernandez buttons perfectly, did the Pirates, and get a couple of 2-run wins. This one 2-0. They take a series lead. They now have home field advantage. 2-1. Game 4 in Pittsburgh. Oh my folks, where have the Giants' bats gone? They didn't score the last 5 innings of Game 2, didn't score in Game 3, and now the Pirates are taking command here. It is Bill Parsons versus Alan Foster, pitchers who didn't even pitch for those respective teams. Parsons was okay, a double triple single in the 2nd, a couple of walks and a single in the 4th. Comes apart for him in the 7th. The Giant bullpen's not very good. Charlie Williams and Steve Hamilton both give up runs. 7 runs for the Pirates. Meanwhile, Alan Foster, who was actually a St. Louis Cardinal pitcher, Gets through 7 shutout innings until a solo homer by Fran Healy. In the 9th inning, it's a 7-1 Pirates lead, and then it gets sloppy. They bring in, instead of the closers, Hernandez or Justy, they're bringing Dick Kelly here. And he gets really sloppy. Walk, 3-run homer by Chris Spire. Double walk, and then eventually it's Bruce Keeson, believe it or not, to face the righty Gary Matthews, the tie run in the 9th, as the Giants try and mount a remarkable comeback. Can't get it. Strikes out. The 3rd different save. Justy, Hernandez, and Keeson all have saves in this series in the 3 wins. 3 games to 1. Pirates are ahead after getting blown out in Game 1. They flipped the switch in the middle of Game 2 when they were down 7-1 and have been rolling ever since. The Giants, once their hot streak died, they have got no more juice. The juice meter, they're running on empty. They're running on fumes, are the Giants, trying to figure this thing out. The good news is Game 5 is back in Candlestick Park. It's part of the divisional round format. Game 5s are with the team who had the bye. So Game 5 is in San Francisco. They need to win this one. If it goes back to Pittsburgh for Game 6 at home, it would be Bob Moose for the Pirates against Ron Bryant. And then we'd see Barr and Rooker for a Game 7. Back in San Francisco, and unfortunately, folks, I hope you're not bored with Steve Blass Marichal, because you get it again. I know. We'll get to see the difference, though, right? Because the Giants come out blazing, blasted Blass, and Marichal cruised. Now, after getting humbled 3 straight times, let's see if this version of Blass versus Marichal is more interesting. Same lineups, too. This is a very weird opportunity to play the same game twice for you. So we're going to do it again. Same lineups. Richie Hebner, 2-5, grounds out. Clemente, 39, flies out. Oliver, 310, flies out. Gary Matthews, 43, left X. 3-4 is Stargell. He gives up a double on his defense. Fuentes, 34, flies out. McCovey, 1/8's a walk. No, 1/8 is a K, excuse me, with 2 outs. Bonds, 312 is a walk. Ed Goodson, 110, flies to center. Top of 2, it's Pop Stargell, 36, is going to be a single. Robertson, 112, is a 5-4-3 double play. Rennie Stennett, 2-8, grounds out. Bottom of 2, crispier, crunchier, 4-5 single. Jim Howarth, 58, flies to left. Healy, 310, flies to left. And Rich Reese, 2-4, bounces to second. Top of the 3rd. Cobra, 1-5. Dave Parker, let's take a look at the Dave Parker card. 73 Parker, just 139 at-bats and 4 home runs, just got started. Would not have played alongside of Roberto Clemente because of the tragedy. But in a timeline like this where you overlap, he gets to... Actually, Parker and Zisk get very little playing time because you have Clemente and Stargell and Al Oliver in your outfield. But Parker gets the home run. 1-0, and we can say the Giants are 21 outs away from elimination here. Manny Sanguillen, 35, center. Milbourne, 2-7, pops out. And Hebner, 59, second C. Marichal made one mistake. Gary Matthews, 1-9. And 1-9 is a grounder to short. Blass looking better than before. 5-11, second X. This is Stennis terrible. 40-41. His defense is... Well, he makes the defensive play there, but he has been picked on mercilessly by the home team. McCovey, 38 is a walk. And with 2 outs, Bobby Bonds. 210, skies to right. Roberto Clemente, 66, single 1-3. He lines out. Oliver, 2-4, pops out. Stargell, 37, single 1-5, lines out. Pitching. Must be one of those Horribly windy, cold days in San Francisco at Candlestick Park, where there's no offense. Ed Goodson, 612, first. Spire, 45, gets a base hit. Jim Howarth, 56, short X. You got Milbourne, a 338 shortstop. It's a base hit. Runners on the corners. They're going to bring it up for Fran Healy. 2-7, Fran delivers a single to center field to tie the game. Howarth, he's going to go coast to coast on a 14 against the Oliver arm. And he's thrown out on a 15. Trying to make a play here to come back in this. He gets thrown out at third, trying to go coast to coast. Now there's 2 outs, and it's Rich Reese. 1-5, flies to right. Would have been a sac fly chance for Rich Reese had there been a guy on third and 1 out. We're tied in the 5th. Robertson. 36 is a K. Stennett, 1-8, is a base hit. The Cobra, the offense today. 410 pops to second. And Sanguian, 68, pops out. Bottom of the 5th. Gary Matthews, 5-10 walks. Fuentes will hit and run, trying to mix this up a little bit. Hit and run, has to steal. Rolls a 9. Got the -3 arm, but he's going to barely be safe. He's an A stealer, right? Oh no, he's a B. It's Matthews. Yeah. Matthews is a B. He's going to be thrown out stealing on that one. -3 arm catcher. Bobby Bonds is the A. So Fuentes will have to swing away now. 56, short X. Reaches on an error. Well, that was a wasted opportunity. Now you got a runner at first with 1 out for McCovey. 3-11, fielder's choice, and with 2 outs, it's Bonds. Another walk. 2 on, 2 outs. Ed Goodson, 64 off blast, catcher's card, 1-11. Sanguine has made 1 error in this series, but not this time. We stay tied at 1 into the 6th. Milbourne, 6'10", center X, but you're not going to get on Bobby Bonds. He's a 1E2. Hebner leading it off, 4'11", right X. Right fielder Howarth, a 3 in right field. He's 7, makes the grab. Clemente, 2-8, bounces short. Marichal Magic, a solo homer is all you can get. Bottom of the 6th. Chris Spire, 6-12, center. But Steve Blass has made this a much more competitive rematch. Howarth, 58, center. And with 2 outs, Fran Healy, 55, short X. Briskly played, 338. Oh, an error. Rich Reese with 2 outs. Pops to first. 7th inning. Briskly played, 1-1 affair. Top of the 7th, Marichal. Al Oliver leads it off. Rounds the first. Stargell, 1-3, looking for a solo homer to put the Pirates in the league championship series by one of these guys. And Bob Robertson on cue, 2-8. Homer 1-8, double the rest, and he cannot hit the home run. It is a double. Marichal will bear down and stay in the game and pitch to .353 hitting Rennie Stennett. 310, let's take a look at the Rennie Stennett card. My goodness. This is the guy who got the Astros knocked out in the third straight Pirate win over the Astros. It was Rennie Stennett with a triple in the 9th inning of the deciding game. Otherwise, the Pirates wouldn't have even made the playoffs. So Stennett got them into the playoffs, and right now, 310, single ... for your .353 hitting second baseman. Off the legend Marichal. Pirates take a 2-1 lead. Oh, by the way, Bill Mazeroski, the guy who hit that big home run in Game 2, is going to take over defensive duties at the bottom of the inning. Dave Parker, 49 off Marichal's a K. So, it is a 2-1 Pirate lead. Stretch time, we've switched records now. We're going back to 71s. There's a riot going on with Sly and Stone there, just like a baby. It's a family affair. You caught me smiling. I think their best record, really, this one. Back to the game. Bottom of the 7th, it's Steve Blass. He was blasted in Game 1, but today he's pitched like a superstar. Hernandez and Justy got rested in Game 4 when Kelly and Keeson finished it. I could go a couple innings with each of these guys if I wanted to, with a lead and a potential clinching game. Gary Matthews will lead off in the bottom of the 7th. 1-3. Flies to right. Fuentes, who was red hot at the beginning of the series, and then he's stone cold since. 65, center. And McCovey, 2-8 Ks. Giants have not hit a thing. Only one run today. They've been shut out. They've only scored a couple other runs in the series. It all happened in the first game and a half when they unloaded for 17 runs. And then since then, nothing. Into the 8th. Marichel's breaking inning. Manny Sanguillen leads off. 56. Double 1-2, base hit. Larry Milbourne might want to bunt here. 14 runner. Let's drop a bunt down. You got a lead. Your number 9 hitter's going to bunt. It's not a single. He's a B bunter. A bunter would have been a single, but it advances Sanguillen to second for Hebner. 2-6. Grounds a short. Would have been a double play. And with 2 outs, it's Roberto Clemente, a World Series MVP in 1971. 38 is a strikeout. 2-1 Juan Marichal. Just 2 runs, wanting some support here. Steve Blass starter rate's going to stick around. 6 outs to get to go to the League Championship Series. It'll be Bobby Bonds. 1-6 for Bobby Bonds. Let's take a look at his card of 1971 when he hit 33 home runs and a .288 average. Bobby Bonds, it's homer 1-16. It is gone. Bobby Bonds homer. We got a 2-2 tie. Getting a good game here in the rematch. Ed Goodson. 5-10's a walk off of Blass. I think you got to break him to get him out of here. Chris Spire. 2-10, fielder's choice. Jim Howarth. The bottom of the lineup's not that much, but 4-4. Howarth does not have power. Off the Blast card, homer 1-14, double the rest, and I'll have to settle for the single ... because Jim Howarth, wherever that is, does not have power. He had 1 homer and 119 at-bats. Well, you got runners in the corners, and you've broken Blast. They're going to bring the infield up with runners in the corners and 1 out. Take out Mr. Blast. We're going to go Ramon Hernandez. We're going to bring him in here. Had a day off. Hasn't pitched more than an inning in the 3rd, I think, in the series, in any of these games. Pirates have done a pretty good job of keeping their relievers fresh this year. They haven't had needed the extra work, or they haven't been, utilized in that manner. We have runners in the corners, 1 out in a 2-2 game. Fran Healy's your batter. You are going to bring the infield up. And here is the pitch to Fran Healy. 6-10 off Hernandez is short X with the infield up. You got a 3E38 shortstop. And it's going to be a single. And there's not a whole lot Pittsburgh can do. They do not have the shortstop position is their worst defensive position. They let Gene Alley go in the offseason, and Larry Milbourne and Frank Tavares have been filling in and struggling all year. That is an RBI single. And your Giants, yes, on the verge of elimination, take a 3-2 lead. Rich Reese, 1st and 2nd. Will stay in there and swing away because he's a good defensive first baseman. 3-11 lines out. And with 2 outs, Gary Matthews. 34, bounce to 2nd. We go to the 9th. Do you leave Marichal in there to... I say yeah. You got to beat Marichal. You got to hit his point of weakness at least. He's a starter 8, 2 guys in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. You have to beat Juan Marichal to go to the League Championship Series. The Pirates certainly have the guys to do it. They got Oliver, Stargell, Robertson. Mazeroski's the 4th hitter as the defensive replacement for Stennett. Meanwhile, defensively, your Giants, who got the lead, first lead they've had since Game 2. They're going to bring a new 3rd baseman in, Bobby Heiss. He'll come in for Goodson. And here we go. Buckle up for the 9th inning. Giants want to win this game and send it back to Pittsburgh for Game 6 in the NBA format for a 7-game series. Al Oliver leads off against Marichal. 4-4, flies to left. Pop Stargell, 48 homers and 71. Here's the pitch. 38, and Stargell gets double 1 of 13. It's a double. 8-runner. It's going to need to get a single dot or double dot to score him. And it's Bob Robertson, who had the double last time up. Could have been a homer there. Scored anyway. Didn't really matter because he scored. Bob Robertson and the pitch. 69 off Marichal, flies to left, and with 2 outs. It's up to Bill Mazeroski. Let's take a look. So, the move was to pull Stennett for defense with a lead, but then they lost the lead, and now his defensive replacement is Bill Mazeroski. Not very good. Let's take a look at the card. Homered on his own card against the lefty Ron Bryant by rolling 3-2 homer 1 of 4 and hitting a 3. Could tie this game with a 3-3, which is a triple. Hit 254 and 71. He came back for one final year hoping to get a World Series ring, his second one. And he did. He did get his second World Series ring. So here is the pitch to Bill Mazeroski. 6-10 off Marichal is catcher's card. That will not do it unless we get the error, which you can. He's a terrible 4-16 catcher. And it's just a PB foul out, and that ends the game. Well, folks, you are the lucky charm for the Giants because the Pirates have lost another game, even though they're winning the series, and you can almost say dominating it. But, yeah, Pirates are winning this series 3-2, but you haven't seen them win any of their games yet. That's a 3-2 win, so we'll take a pause, and we'll pick you up in Game 6. Okay, here is the box score of the Game 3 you just... Game 5 you just saw, where the Giants did come back and win that game by a score of 3-2 by coming back in the 8th inning. Matter of fact, we got to go back to the Pirates Stadium sounds for their game we're playing here. I can see if I can find it. Yeah, here we are. Okay. All right, we're back. Anyway, yeah, Game 5, that was the result. The Giants coming back in the bottom of the 8th with a Bonds homer and the RBI single by Healy, 3-2. So the Pirates are like, okay, you got us. You got us twice in your park. But the whole point is we want to come back home and win this in front of the home fans in Pittsburgh in Game 6 and send us off to the League Championship Series. We feel good. We got our guy Bob Moose, who's actually probably outpitched Steve Blast this year anyway, in a Game 6. And let's take you through where we're at. Scoreless early. In the top of the 4th inning, after a couple strikeouts, Bob Moose surrenders a Ed Goodson homer. Then he gives up a triple to Spire and an RBI single to Howarth. 3 straight batters, 2 runs, 2-0 visitors. 6th inning, McCovey double, gets to 3rd on the ground ball, and then it's Chris Spire again, this time an RBI single. 3-0 visitors. And now it's the Pirate bats that have gone cold. Well, until the bottom of the 6th. After a leadoff walk to Bill Mazeroski, he's in there playing second today with Stennett on the bench against the lefty. Richie Hebner, 2-run homer. And that is where we are at. It is a 3-2 game. Next 3 batters got out. Pretty close game. The Giants a run ahead, just a couple batters ahead. Ron Bryant and Moose both got knocked around in that 9-7 game earlier, where everything changed. The Pirates took over, took control of the series. We will go to the 7th inning now. But the Giants are winning 3-2, trying to even this thing up in the Pirate ballpark here. So leading off on top of the 7th, we're just going to pick this up in the last 3 innings. It'll be Fran Healy against Bob Moose. 6-12 off Moose is a roller to the mound. Rich Reese, 2-10. Pitcher, and Gary Matthews. 110. Matthews, double one, single. Beast Stealer, not going to run against the -3 arm. Fuentes, 39's a walk. 2 on, 2 outs. Breaking point for Moose. Willie McCovey, what do you do here? Do you bother the bullpen here? Down a run with a game 7 on the horizon, and you're already losing. And Moose McCovey, and let's take a look at the McCovey card. We can just go through this. You see there's not a whole lot of difference, really. Very symmetrical against lefties and righties here. But he's going to hit the point of weakness anyway. I think I got to do... The Pirate bullpen has been good. Stay with the good bullpen. They're going to pull Moose down a run after 6 2/3. Hernandez only pitched 2/3 of an inning in yesterday's game, so he'll come in here in the 7th. Big moment here. The Pirates trying to stay in this one with 2 on and 2 outs. Ramon Hernandez will come on in and face Willie McCovey. Lefty, lefty. And here is the pitch. 6-10 off Hernandez. Third X. This is Hebner. He's a 3E12 third baseman, and he makes the defensive play to end the inning. Stretch time in Pittsburgh. First time we played in this town in this series. We have the Intruders, band on the Gamble record label from state of Pennsylvania. Always played on the air in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh in this timeline. The Intruders, Sad Girl, Will Be United. Great stuff. Cowboys to Girls was their big hit. Trying to inspire the Pirates to a comeback victory and a seat in the league championship series, as we've said a couple of times now. Ron Bryant, pitching outstanding. Just a 2-run homer by Hebner is all he's allowed this time around. He's a good pitcher. He's going to continue and face Willie Stargell, lead off the 7th. 5-10 is catcher's card. Healy, a 4-16 catcher. Boy. And we finally get an error on the E16 catcher. Hate to see a game turn on that, but you know we're kind of set up for it, aren't we? Zisk with the tie run at first. The pitch to Richie Zisk. 2-6 is a base hit for Richie Zisk. It's a base hit to left field. Stargell hold. Bryant's going to continue. They're not crazy about their bullpen in San Francisco. Bryant's a starter 7. The error doesn't count against the point of weakness, so he'll pitch to Bob Robertson. 2-8, Bob Robertson on cue. Let's look at the card. It is going to be Homer 1-11, fly ball. The rest, it is gone, and it is a Bob Robertson 3-run homer in the bottom of the 7th inning, breaking the hearts of San Francisco. 26 homers in 71, and the Pirates take a 5-3 lead. Next batter is Frank Taveras. He doesn't invoke a replacement pitcher. 2-8 though. Taveras reaches on a single. Now he does. That breaks Ron Bryant. So you saw what happened here. He had the shutout, a walk, and the 2-run homer make it a 1-run game. Then got out of the 6th inning, but he just could not come back out with anything. Leaves after 6 innings and 4 batters, down a couple runs with 6 outs to get with Ramon Hernandez on the mound. This is dire for the Giants. Charlie Williams will come in. He was 1-3 with a 2.79 ERA and 74 for the Giants. The Giants have some nice pitching futures here. Mike Caldwell, Charlie Williams, Jim Barr. Pitching's not going to be an issue. Plus, they'll have a great bullpen soon with Lavelle and Minton and Al Holland and Fred Brenning and guys like that. Giants will always have the pitching. It's the offense that's going to start to cripple them eventually. Charlie Williams is on in the 7th with a runner at first and nobody out. Bill Mazeroski, I smell hit and run here with a speedy Taveras at first. He's going to hit and run. And he gets the B-to-A single dot. Tough break again for the Giants. Runners on the corners. You got to bring it up for Hebner. 4-5 off Williams. A sac fly to center field, and it is now a 6-3 game. Sanguian, 67. Single to 18 gets it. 2 on, 1 out for Oliver. 3-5, single 1 to 3. Gets the single 1 to 3. They're hitting everything, folks. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Let's take a look at Roberto Clemente. Could basically put the dagger into the Giants right here and right now. 1971, 341 year out of Roberto Clemente. The infield has to come up, but the bases loaded, down 3 runs. The pitch to Clemente. 2-5. That is going to be a fielder's choice. 6-2. Cuts him down at the plate. And it'll be Willie Stargell. They're going to bring in a lefty now to face Stargell here. That'll be Mike Caldwell. Actually, you know what? It'll be Steve Hamilton. Got to go with your best. Facing insurmountable odds. Steve Hamilton will come on in to try and lead these bases loaded against Willie Stargell. You got Mazeroski got forced out, so Sanguian's at third, Oliver at second, Clemente at first, and here's the pitch to Willie Stargell. 2-5, that's a strikeout. That would have been a walk against a right-handed pitcher. So the Giants did enough to survive, but they're down 3 with Ramon Hernandez and Dave Justy warming. Their defense is in there. Bobby Bonds leads off in the 8th. 69, pops to second. Ed Goodson, 4-10, center X. Now Oliver's the weakest of the outfielders, a 3-5 in center field, but he makes the catch. And it'll be Chris Spire. 1-5 for Chris Spire. Let's take a look at Chris's card of 72, one of the best shortstops in this era offensively. 269, 15 homers. I think he was a Rookie of the Year candidate or maybe an early All-Star candidate. But 1-5 for crispier, crunchier. 1-5 is gone. And it's a 6-4 game. And now, batting for Howarth. Yeah, he's got to be pinch hit for. He's terrible against lefties. It'll be Jay Alou. The other 2 Alou brothers are playing for the Seattle. The Giants said, nope, we're keeping one of them. Jay stuck around San Francisco. Pitch to Jay Alou. 48 off Hernandez is a walk. And just like that, your Giants, not going quietly here, have the tie run. Fran Healy, but he doesn't have power. He's going to swing away. Fran Healy, here's the pitch. 38 is ball 4. And suddenly, Ramon Hernandez, the wheels have come off the cart here. And you have 2 on and 2 out in a 6-4 game. Rich Reese is the batter. This is the problem with the Giants. The bottom half of this lineup is dreadful, really. Howarth, Healy, and Reese. And they have still reached on a couple walks. Rich Reese is a 219 hitter. If you bring in a righty reliever, you're helping them out. Well, you might as well force the Dick Dietz issue here. They're going to do that. They're going to pinch hit Dick Dietz and go for the home run. And of course, Hernandez, one thing that does, that it will get Hernandez out of this game. So he only goes a full inning, 1 out in the 7th and 2 in the 8th. And that means that Justy is going to have to come in the 8th inning and get a 4-out save. Dave Justy going to come in again. He had a 5-out save in game 2. Very similar game score-wise. We'll face Dick Dietz. Let's take a look at the Dick Dietz card again. Much better against lefties, but the power's there against righties with 2 on and 2 outs. In a 6-4 game, the pitch to Dick Dietz. 2-9 is going to be ball 4. They're loaded. Put your tie run at second, lead run at first, and you got Gary Matthews. He's only a 300 hitter. At the top, this is all started with 2 outs and nobody on. Adventuresome last 3 frames, to say the least here. All these runs. Bases loaded, 2 outs in a 6-4 game. It is Gary Matthews against Dave Justy. Not much to do, but watch and see what happens here. Here's the pitch. 1-10, Matthews comes through. It is double 1, single ... and it is the 2-run single. And the Pirates, this brilliant, I should say, yeah, I gotta go, it is a brilliant Pirate bullpen, has just collapsed in a championship moment. And the game is tied at 6. Giants going nuts here. They've only tied the game. They're still down in the series. They're acting like they just won the World Series. It is a 6-6 tie. Matthews at first. Dick Dietz got the third on the throw. It's 2 outs. And it's Tito Fuentes. We'll take a look at his card. Jesse isn't going anywhere. I mean, he's a relief too. And Fuentes, a 277 hitter, will swing away with a lead run at third. Pitch to Tito Fuentes. 2-9 is a walk, and the bases are loaded. And guess what? It's Willie McCovey. Are you kidding me? Willie McCovey. My goodness. Bases loaded, 2 outs in a 6-6 game. There's nothing you can do, really, unless you want to bring Dick Kelly in for him. But let me show you the Justy card if I haven't shown you it already. He really dominates left-handed batters. And you got one here, folks. Mr. McCovey, what could be his final playoff appearance for a very aging Giants team. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitch to Willie McCovey. 48 is a sky to center field. He leaves them loaded. As did Pop Stargell in the bottom of the previous inning. Left them loaded. 6 men left on base by Willie McCovey and Willie Stargell in a 6-6 tie. I tell you, folks, I gave you some drama in these abbreviated, just giving you the last 3 innings. That's all you really need, though, right? Bottom of the 8th, Hamilton will continue. He's the best the Giants have, and he's a relief, too. It'll be Zisk leading off in the bottom of the inning. No defensive changes. You can have Alou DH. McCovey has to play first base, and Dick Dietz catches. Actually, Alou goes into right field, and Fran Healy is the DH with McCovey at first. Richie Zisk will lead off in the bottom of the 8th. 67 is a K. Bob Robertson. 45 is a double off of the card. A homer and a double. Last 2 trips for Bob Robertson trying to be a hero. Speaking of unlikely hero, here's the number 8 hitter, Frank Taveras. 210, let's take a look at this guy, Frank Taveras. He's done pretty much nothing this year for the Pirates. In 74, he had 246 and 333 at-bats. Basically, he lost the starting shortstop job to Larry Milbourne. Plays against lefties. Has speed, but just not enough juice to earn the leadoff role. 210 here, though, is a clean single to center field. Robertson, of course, will not take on the Bobby Bonds arm. Runners on the corners, 1 out, and it's Bill Mazeroski. The infielder is going to come up. Hamilton's the best they have. He'll continue. Bill Mazeroski, who had that big 3-run homer in Game 2. Of course, we know what he did in the 60 series. And now it's 11 years later, in theory. The pitch to Bill Mazeroski. 2-9 with the infield up here is a pop out to second. No magic there. And it goes to Richie Hebner, Steve Hamilton. Power versus power. Let's look at Hebner's card. He's better against lefties than righties. But of course, Steve Hamilton has no on base on his card against lefties. The best reliever in baseball against left-handed lefty pitching is Steve Hamilton. And here we go. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. The pitch to Richie Hebner. 2-5 is a K. We go to the 9th. Justy's second inning. It'll be Bobby Bonds leading it off. 67 is a single. Now you got Ed Goodson. 62 is first C. The speedy Bobby Bonds is at second base. For Chris Spire, who has had a day, a triple, a single, a homer, a double to go for the cycle and give his team the lead. The pitch to Chris Spire. 43 off Justy. Center X. He could get a double. He's a 3-5 in center field, but Al Oliver makes a nice play defensively there. Nice defensive play by the 3-5 in center, denying Spire. A hero moment. And now it'll be J.L. Liu. The pitch to J.L. Liu in the 9th inning here. 55. Short X. Here's Tavares. Oh boy. Adventures in fielding. He's a 3-44 shortstop, and he makes the play. Bottom of the 9th. Here in Pittsburgh. So let's do some bookkeeping here for a moment. Through 8 innings, Charlie Williams got 2 outs and then an inning and a third for Hamilton. And Justy's going an inning and a third. Through 9 innings. 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8. Hamilton will go into his 3rd and final inning of relief because you have Oliver and Stargell due up this inning. So leading off in the bottom of the 9th, it will be Manny Sanguillen. 110 is a single 1-2 line out, and it line out. Al Oliver. 46 off Hamilton is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Roberto Clemente. 43 left X. Matthews a 2-6 in left field, makes the play. Top of the 10th. Let's take a look at these Giants now. They got a lot of righties in here now because of the pinch hit. So they only have 3 lefties left. We've seen the Pirates do this in the past. They're going to go to Keeson in the top of the 10th inning here because he can go a long way. He's a stretched out starting pitcher, really. He's a starter 7, relief 3, so he can play forever in these extra inning games. They have Dick Kelly available too, but he doesn't really match up against the Giants, who really hit lefties well. So Keeson will come on in the 10th and face Fran Healy, leading it off. 35 is a walk. Now you got the number 9 hitter, Dick Dietz, who walked. 2-7, he walks again. 2 straight walks. Pirate bullpen coming unglued a bit here. Back up top to another one of these heroes to keep calling. Everybody's been a hero, right? Bob Robertson's been a hero. Chris Spire's been a hero. Gary Matthews is. And Gary Matthews is trying to break the tie here with 2 on, nobody out in the top of the 10th. Here's the pitch. 48 off of Keeson. You guessed it. It is a walk. Oh, my goodness. The bases are loaded. Remember I said about lefties? Well, here they come. 2 of them, Fuentes and McCovey. They're going to bring the infield up as Fuentes is an A bunter. Not looking good for the Pirates here as their bullpen is imploding here. The pitch to Tito Fuentes. 33 is a liner to short. Now you got McCovey, who stranded 3 his last time up. Can he strand another 3? Do you play back and go for a double play in this situation against the slow-footed McCovey? They're going to play it back and do that thing. They are going to do it. They want a double play right here and now. The pitch to Willie McCovey. 1-7's a strikeout. And with 2 outs, and now you got a right-hander. Keeson's feeling more confident against the righties. It's Bobby Bonds. He had a homer in this game. Oh, no, he had the homer in the last game. That's right. Today, Bonds is 1 for 5. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 10th of a 6-6 tie in Game 6. The pitch to Bobby Bonds. 65 off Keeson is a bouncer to short. Adventures in fielding, Frank Tavares. Can he make a play? He does! Frank Tavares has fielded 2 ground balls cleanly. That could put him in the Pirate Ring of Honor if they can somehow get a run in the bottom of the 10th. Hamilton will face Stargell, and then we'll yank him as he has pitched a long time here. He's actually pitched 2 1/3. And he's going to pitch to the first batter in 10th, Stargell. 1-9, Willie Stargell, 1 batter too many. Let's look at the card. Willie Stargell, 1-9, doesn't matter. Left-handed, right-handed, underhanded. Behind the back. I don't care how you throw it to him. It's gone into the Monongahela River, whatever they have out there in the Three Rivers. I don't know what they're all called. But he just hit a walk-off 10th inning homer. Pops Stargell, your 1971 MVP runner-up, we'll call him, walks off the divisional round 7-6 on the first pitch he saw from Steve Hamilton, the best left-handed reliever against left-handed batters in the sport. It doesn't matter. You rolled on Stargell's card. They go to the League Championship Series, winning this one 7-6 in 10 innings. And there's so many ebbs and flows in this game of what you could, you know. You got McCovey stranded 6 runners. Let's go dig into this box score here. So 1 batter in the 10th. And 10 innings there. So we're going to dig into the box right here and take this out to do a wrap here. So Keeson gets a victory. 3 straight walks and then a strikeout. Justy went an inning and a third. After the first 2 outs of the 8th inning, he came in, faced Dick Dietz, and walked him. Then he gave up another hit and a walk. So he actually did give up a hit and 2 walks in that 1 inning, did Justy. And then in the 9th inning, he gave up one more hit. Hernandez got the final out in the 7th. Oh, by the way, another inning where Willie McCovey left men on base. My goodness, he left the 2 men on in the 7th, 3 men on in the 8th, and 3 men on the 10th. Willie McCovey, that is dreadful. That is rather unfortunate. So Hernandez got the first 2 outs in that inning. Then he gave up a homer, a walk, and a walk. So he gave up a hit, 2 walks, and 3 runs. 6 2/3 for Moose, giving up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. Charged with 3 runs. Probably should have had the win, but his bullpen hurt him there. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts for Moose. Hamilton takes the loss. The walk-off homer in the 10th inning. Then he went 2 1/3 innings coming on here, or actually facing Stargell here. Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, he got the final out in the 7th, yeah. Yeah, both pitchers came on in the 7th, so that's considered the 7th there. So he had a strikeout in the 7th, did Hamilton. Then in the 8th and 9th, he gave up 2 hits and 2 Ks, and another K in the 9th. Charlie Williams pitched 2/3 of an inning. Yeah, right after the failure there by Ron Bryant. He gave up a single, a sac fly, and 2 more singles, but no runs. 3 hits. Not helping Ron Bryant's call anymore. Ron Bryant ended up with a no decision. Did give up 7 hits, 6 runs. All charged to him because you had the error, the single, the homer, and the single. And 2 of those will be earned. A total of 4 of them are earned. A walk and 2 strikeouts. 10010 0109 as Hamilton did not record it down to the 10th. 713 610 9816. That is game 6. The Pirates have won this thing 4 games to 2. And for the Giants, well, we said in the pregame a long time ago that they seem to be overrated. That they did get the number 2 seed in the bye, but really the National League did poorly against the American League and Interleague play. And really, any of the teams really could have been a 2 seed, including some teams who didn't even make the playoffs. So the Pirates are now 30-23. It's a lot of baseball they've played. Well, they were playing into the latter rounds of the tournament, trying to get into the playoffs, and they succeeded. And now we got this unbeatable team out of Pittsburgh here. The Giants, yeah, well, they finished 23-19. So we'll plug these in here. In the divisional round, Pittsburgh. They did win 4 games to 2. But they're just 7 over 500. And the Giants are 23-19. Not that great, really. Just 4 games over 500. We don't know who the Pirates are going to play, because Philadelphia, or we don't know where the series will be. If Philadelphia upsets Atlanta, then the Pirates would be the home team in the league championship round. So we don't really know. We know that the Reds and Mets have been eliminated, of course. So the Pirates would be the home team if they face the Phillies, if they upset the Braves, or the Braves, being the number 1 seed, would face the Pirates. Pirates-Braves looks awful appealing. Willie Stargell versus Hank Aaron, particularly after Willie Stargell just won Game 6 with a walk-off homer in the 10th inning. That really will boost his stock. Gotta go check his stats out one more time. If you've been following, he's had a terrible year with batting average, but he has plenty of home runs to make up for it. So let me double check Stargell here. Give you some numbers. So in the 53 games, he does have 18 homers and 46 RBIs. But he's 42 for 206. So he's hitting 204. But I tell you what, you can hit 204 if you hit walk-off homers. I'll take it. Or if you want to... How did McCovey finish? Because, you know, he stranded all those runners in Game 6. So McCovey's season for the Giants: 6 homer, 21 RBI, 27 walks, 35 for 150, 233. So not a good year for him. Break up, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They just keep on rolling. They were left for dead. Had to pull off a remarkable sweep against the Astros. It ignited their team, gave them the confidence, the swagger they would need to play to their ability that's printed on the cards, and they're rolling. They are rolling to the League Championship Series and possibly the World Series after that. Thanks for checking this out, folks. We'll see you next time.